Hello, welcome to Sissy's Cards and Crafts. I am Sissy. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in Eastern Ontario, Canada. And thank you for joining me for making another card. So we are using this week's product. We're going to use the Violet Dreams Suite, which is $131.50 in Canada. I will have a link for this at the bottom of this video. You can also get the bundle, and now a bundle is the stamp set and the dies, and they are $67.50. If you buy the stamp set and the dies separately without bundling them, you miss out on a 10% discount. So you want to bundle your stamps and dies. Other than that, the rest of the stuff is just added on, and that's how they get their suite price. So I believe everything's still available, but if you ever check on and you see that a suite isn't available, look to see what's missing. If the bundle's there, then is it the DSP? Because the suite usually comes with DSP. It might come with a specialty DSP like this one comes with, this stripes, sparkly shimmer stripes, I think it's called. Yep, shimmering stripes. So this is extra, an extra DSP that's included. So if something's missing and you really want to get it, as long as you can get the bundle, you're getting the discount. You just have to put in more product when you're ordering. So just something to think about when you're placing orders. But by far, this isn't the only suite. There's lots of stuff, and this is an online exclusive. So there is the catalog, and then there's the online exclusives. The catalogs come out every 3 months, I believe, or 4 months. And then the online exclusives come out like every 3 months. So there's always kind of something new coming out. And September, we're kind of launching both. So there's new online exclusives and a new catalog coming out. If you place an order with me of $50 or more, I will ensure that you get one of those new catalogs for September, so you can see all of the new stuff that will be arriving. If you are in Canada, I have to stipulate I can only sell and send product to individuals in Canada. So do that. And if you are interested in being a demonstrator, and being a demonstrator for Stampin' Up! Isn't one where you have to sell product. You have to buy product, and you have to maintain a certain purchase level or quota every 3 months. But really, it's not that bad. And so a lot of people are what we call hobby demonstrators, where they are just really a demonstrator, meaning they signed on with Stampin' Up! To buy the product for themselves and make cards. What they do, maybe they sell those cards. I don't know, but there are those hobby demonstrators, and you get the discounts, you get the early release because we get to see and purchase stuff early. And there, you get all sorts of little tips and tricks and extra things as being a demonstrator. So just a thought, if this is something you're interested in, to become a demonstrator. Now, you by far can sell the product too. There's nothing different in the demonstrator levels as far as when you start out. If you want to sell the product, it's the same process. But either way, you are going to go and sign up as a demonstrator. Go to hopefully my website and become a demonstrator with me and join my team. But you will sign up, and then they will send you basically a gift certificate, like an email that's going to have quote unquote a gift certificate or a number in there that you can then go into the Stampin' Up! Website under your new demonstrator number and purchase product. Now, to do this, it used to be you paid $130 and you got $165 worth of product, which, you get free product. That's great. But this now you get that and $65 or $170 credit, and you can buy whatever you want. And signing up is the, I believe it's still $135 in Canada. Got to get myself better versed on that and sharing that information. But if you are interested, just follow the link at the bottom of this this video, or email me or contact me through my website, which is sissyscardsandcrafts.com, and I would be glad to help you through the process. Also, while I'm talking about the website, that's where the blog posts are, where you find the measurements for everything that I've been doing. Okay, so Violet Dream Suite. We are using the dies and the stamps. Again, they come separately. I just shove them in the same envelope because it makes my life easier. And then we've been using the scallop bloom dies because they're very versatile. I just purchased the dies. I didn't purchase the rest of the set. I did purchase the paper because I liked it for other reasons. But we have used them for every card. So the cards we've done so far is this one. And now with this suite, or just the DSP, actually, you get this extra ephemera, which doesn't come with all the papers, the DSPs. So with this one, it does, and you can create a card very easily. No stamp, no die cutting. I've just used the paper that came with the suite, and of course the ribbon. I did stamp here, and of course any stamps that you have would work for that. So a cute little birthday card. The second one we did was another friend card. Now this one I used a retired set to get this piece back here. But when we did the card through the video, I used the stamp that came in the set, this stamp, and I just used that in the background. I think it looked nice. In fact, it looked so nice that I gave it away. And so that was card number 2. Card number 3 was this fun fold, and I'm going to call it that tower card. It's been called a few different things, and we have that sending love, and I appreciate you inside. Kind of a little bit off there. If I was to do that again, I probably would separate my stamp and put I appreciate you instead, but I still think it is a very lovely card and works nicely. Okay, so tonight's card, or today's card, is this one, and we're going to use some vellum and that shimmer spray. I don't know if you can see that shimmer on the vellum there. Very pretty, and it just gives a nice, with that dark secret C DSP behind it and the shimmer, I think it adds a really nice touch to it. Then of course we're going to use the Scallop Blooms die cut for this happy birthday. These are the gems, which I'm gonna have to find. They are here somewhere. I've said that for 3 nights now, and I've not found them yet. And then inside, we're going to do something interesting, and I'll cover that when we get there. So this is the card for tonight. So I've pre-cut some stuff. I actually did a little boo-boo when I scored it. I scored it 4 instead of 4 1/4. But you know what? That's not going to matter for this card. So if you're going to make a boo-boo, this is the card to do it on, because I'm actually going to glue that piece right onto there. So first thing, because we're going to use the shimmer spray, we need to, and this is homemade shimmer spray. I'm going to share a video with it, and I'll link it to these blog posts. A very simple spray. Honestly, the hardest thing was to find this spray bottle. And of course, I've got that at the dollar store. In Canada, we have a store called Dollarama. That's where I found them. And I used it. It's very, very simple spray to make. And I'll share a video on how to do that. So we've got that, and then we are going to need to spray this so this has a chance to dry. But also in the card here, I put shimmer spray on this piece. So let's cut this piece out so we can do that first. So I have my Secret C cardstock here. We're going to get out this die. We talked about it a couple times, but we haven't looked at it. And it's this big scalloped oval. And then it has the centerpiece. So you can see here, this is from that other card that I cut out. So I cut out the big scalloped piece. And then I cut out the center of it. So the whole thing, but I did it, I'm going to do it differently because there was a few little glitches with it. So what we're going to do is, first step, I need this cut out. So I'm going to make sure I can get this cut. And I think I'm going to have to do this on my big machine that's behind me. So you're not going to be able to see me cutting it. But I'm going to position this on here. And this will cut out the whole big die, correct? Following me? Like this. This is going to be that big piece. But I do want like a peekaboo in there because I just want the frame. So I'm going to put this on and I'm going to make sure it's centered in there the best I can. It is not a straight oval. So in my instructions, and I don't actually think I included this in the instructions. I think I wrote instructions for the card without doing this. So I'll add this as an option if you want to do it. So I've made that pretty even. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to die cut this, and then that will leave us with this scalloped edge frame. 2 seconds. Okay, more than 2 seconds, but you know what I'm saying. How's your day going? Let me know. Where are you? I noticed from you can see on the analytics from YouTube that a lot of my viewers are from the US. So let me know exactly where you're from, what the weather's like, all of that jazz, because I find that interesting, especially since everything is changing so frequently. Like our weather patterns are crazy. Okay, so that is our frame. We need to start put shimmer on this rather. Where's my vellum? So I'm going to take the vellum and this frame. You do want to use a box. So I just have, it's an old Stampin' Up! Shipping box here that I use. I'm just going to set it down, put these pieces inside my box, give my spray a really, really good vigorous shake, and then I'm going to spray these pieces. Make sure your die cut is the right way up. And if you've done die cuts, you know that there is a right way and a wrong way. Then I'm just going to leave that and let that dry. So that is off to the side. Okay, sorry you couldn't see that whole process, but it's really not. Those things sat in the bottom of my box and I sprayed them. Okay, so this is the front of my card. Yes, I made that error there, but like I say, it's not going to be a problem. I want to open my card up, and I'm now going to center this in the middle. And I simply want to center it because when I put my blue scalloped edge around, it will go around it, right? So center is center, and center from the actual fold, not the boo-boo one. Okay. Tape that down. And again, this is a large die, so I'm going to have to spin around and use my other machine. Okay. Okay, so this tape is lovely, but why is it doing that? So if you get where you've got gooeys sticking from your tape, maybe you've used it a little too much, which I think is probably what I'm getting. I have noticed the humidity causing some problems, but you can get this glue eraser and take that off. I just picked this up at that lovely local box store that we have here in Canada. Big box store. We only have the one craft store here in Canada. We don't have a lot of options. All right, so close that up. Now we're going to take this piece of the DSP that came with these Violet Dreams, and I'm going to glue this on here. Now, the thing with having that spot there, that's left me that little window here that I'm going to be able to glue on there. Actually, you know what? Now that I think of it, that fold is fine here, but it's not fine here. So that might cause me a problem. I'm going to continue on with it. I know it's an error. I'll give it to somebody that, you know, really loves me and they're not going to judge me on that. Or I've got another idea of how I can fix it. Okay, but ideally, I should probably just use another piece of white cardstock. Okay, so I'm going to glue around here because I don't want to put glue inside that, right? Glue on my edge because I really want this whole piece to stick down. So don't over glue, but make sure you get your edges. Make sure you're putting this dimension in the right direction, not dimension, direction. Oh man, I'm tired. Josh and I we wanted to watch a video outside today. So we have our deck all set up with a gazebo, and we have quite nice. I like it. Got nice furniture, fairly comfy. It was comfy enough that I got to clean this off because it's driving me nuts. Actually had sleep as he was watching the video. I watched Brother Bear, and then he's like, you know what? I want to watch, what's that one? Chicken Little. So we watched Chicken Little. And then we had to come up and watch Dallas in bed. And I was just like, oh, I'm TV'd out right now. Okay. The joys of having a child that loves his movies, which I like it. You know what? No harm in it, I guess. Could be worse things. Okay. Now, the only thing is, it's kind of dangerous that I've already assembled this, and then I want to stamp on this. I put it together to stamp, or before I stamped, because I need to know where to stamp. I am pushing my luck. I get that. So cross your fingers. But the other nice thing, this black is going to look, or Secret C is going to look very nice under that vellum. But also this side, the B side is quite light, and we can actually stamp on that. So what did I put? I put Sending Love on that. So let's get our Sending Love stamp out here. And this is going to work just fine and dandy. Right, so I'm going to put that there. Get my stamp, and I will use that lovely Secret C ink again. Like I said, and I'm not the only one that's saying it. I really hope they add Secret C to their ink refresh when they do that next year. Okay, so I'm going to just stick this here, give it a second, let it do its magic. And then pop it out. I did it. I did it. Yay. Thank you for crossing your fingers and your toes. Okay, so that's that. Still letting those other pieces dry. I'm going to just keep going with a couple other things. So I'm just going to stick these back because I am done with these ones. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is not the easiest. I like to get magnetic sheets, and I did. Again, our dollar stores here are kind of hard to you got to catch the right date sometimes to find the things. And so I like to get the magnetic sheets to be able to put magnetic sheets in my cards. So I have my die here, and I'm going to use just white cardstock. So I keep all these long cuts that I have here for this. I just keep a whole pile of them and just use them as I need them. All right, so I'm going to cut this. We will get out the small one so I don't have to spin around. And what did I do with the boxes? Over here, I just want to see. Isn't it crazy when you know you have something and you know right where, you think you know right where it is because that's where you last saw it, and then you go to find it and it's not there. And I'm talking about the gems that I really want to use for this. So here's hoping that they're tucked in the other folder. I just missed seeing them in there. Okay, what do you think of these cards? Are you enjoying my designs? Would you like them to be different, simpler, more intricate? What do you like? There's there. I enjoy doing intricate things. I kind of hold myself back in some of these cards because I think, oh, I could do this and I could do this, and I think that's why I didn't add the other the inside die cut, or the card being die cut on my instructions, because I remember thinking, is that pushing it? It's a little bit too much, because I do really like to make intricate sorts of things and things differently. I know it can be difficult, but I hope I make the instructions simple enough that it isn't difficult. But let me know, please. Please give me feedback. When I start getting some consistent viewership on my cards, I would love to start doing live videos so we can get feedback. My thought was, when my daughter and daughter-in-law could be hopping on too, but when they are in two totally separate time zones, it makes that difficult. Okay, so I've got happy birthday to you, because I just thought this was a cute little birthday card, but you could do any sentiment that you want. There we go, just like that. I think that's it for the stamping. Oh, well, we moved the inside of the card, but I can leave that. Okay, I'll clean those after. So let's double check our pieces here to see if they're dry. And they are. So we've got, well, there's just a little bit there, but you can use your heat tool to dry, but really, I think it was just because it was sitting in a wet spot on the box, a wetter spot. So you can see, I don't know if you can see that sparkle, but it is just, the shimmer is so pretty. It doesn't really come off. It's a little bit, but, and look at that. And it is so easy to make. Like, I don't ever think of buying it. Okay, so to assemble this, vellum, even with this shimmer, you're going to see where you place the glue. So that's where this piece comes into play. So it's going to cover my glue. I will put a nice run of glue or adhesive down there on that side. We're going to stick it. Now, I had a problem with this one curling, as you can see. This isn't curling, so that's beautiful. But what I would suggest if it's curling, and what I did on this one, I just did, for some reason I didn't use enough here, but you'll notice that side sticking down. What I did is I used the Tombow glue, so this glue, and put a drop in each corner. and let it dry. Don't push it down in, just let it dry until it's clear. Then when it's clear, it's still tacky, push it down. You can see that's still tacky. And I made this several days ago. So it is holding. This one holding better because I used a little bit more. You could do a whole run down there or another dot in the middle if it curls. But you notice this one isn't curling. So I think I just must have moved that the wrong way or something. Actually, now that I think of it, I'd probably use the heat tool on it. So maybe don't use the heat tool on it. But back to how I'm going to put this on. I'm just going to run a line of glue down there. And you could use any adhesive, but just make sure that it's just on that one spot because you are going to see it. But we've all gotten those cards with that nice piece of vellum front on it that you can open, right? And see how the back. So, that's what I was going for with this. But you can see, like, that just looks awful. If I'd let it dry, it would look a whole lot better, but you would, with that much, you would still see it. So I'm just going to use this coordinating piece of cardstock here. And that's the joy of Stampin' Up. Everything coordinates. And so that just goes on here like this. Lickety split. All right, and while we're gluing, we're just going to go in here, and then we're going to put this here. But remember, I said that's not a perfect oval, and I guessed right there. But look, if I went this way, I'm not going to be able to match it up as easy. So make sure that it is going to match and put it in there. Okay. Now, you could put some dimensionals under that. I don't really suggest it because when you close it, it's going to be a little too thick. So just, again, go back to your glue or whatever adhesive you like to use. I like the glue. Like I've shared before, I've learned paper and glue and starting to do all this paper crafting in the last few years. And when I've used quite a bit of different glues, and when I first got the Tombow glue, I was amazed by it. It dries so quick and it's so easy to use. And even the fine tip is you can get fairly fine, but if you wanted to put a different end on there or put it in a different bottle, like you can get the little bottles, that would be a good idea if you want something finer. Okay, so I think I said I used about, so that's 13. Might use that long. It would be what, 18 inches, which, being in Canada, you'd think I'd be all about the metric, but not to give away my age or anything, but I was kind of right at that break-off point. So when they changed things here on us. So what I'm looking to do, and don't worry about using all of the ribbon. If you have to trim off the edges, you can. But I want to kind of make a bow. That's what I'm going for here. I really don't want both my tails going the same way. So I'm going to kind of point them in different ways and just play around with it in your hands to get it the way you want it. If you want to loop it, right? That's fine. You can do that. It's your card. Do what you want. And this ribbon is pretty much the same on both sides, where some it's shiny on one side and not on the other. This isn't like that. It's shiny on both sides. The only thing about looping it or making it not so it's flat is putting it in the card or the envelope might be an issue. But if you're going to hand deliver this to somebody, then that's fine. But I think I'm going to go with that figure 8 sort of look. Now position it on the card so it's vertical. So up and down. Right? Kind of, again, don't worry about your tails. We can cut them off. You're more worried about the actual ribbon and how it looks on your card. This is going to go in the center, right? So I kind of even wanted it off on a bit of an angle instead of straight up and down. And I do have these bigger glue dots, just simply because I bought them for my son for Christmas. He didn't like them. So I'm going to use one of them for these, but you could use two of our mini glue dots. But I wanted to make sure this sticks. So you can see it's a little bit bigger of a blob. And I'm going to kind of, so I didn't put it under the full ribbon. I put it kind of in between the ribbons, and I'm going to spread it out a little bit. But maybe I will get a mini one and put that down. Yeah, these are out. Let's continue using these. That's much better, this piece. It's a little bit wider. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to actually use dimensionals to hold that up. So get your dimensionals. I've got a whole pile of them here. And really, I've got some of these edge pieces. So let's use that. And I know everybody seems to cut these off, but I find ripping them works just as well. So give them a little bit of a rip. But definitely use them. Don't not use your edges. That's a waste of your hard-earned money. Or my husband's hard-earned money. Okay. So there we go. I know that was upside down, but I just wanted to test to see. Okay. And I'm in that phase of life where I'm transitioning to other employment. The work I've been doing the last 15 years is a little too difficult now on my body, so switching to something else. All right. Keep joking that it's got to be crafting because that's what I enjoy so very much. So you can see that is starting to curl a little bit. I might just stick that glue on there. Well, let's just do it. Let's put it on here. And it's got those two little dots. I'm going to put a block there so it doesn't touch, and we can let that cure, and it will go clear. All right, the gems, the lovely, lovely gems. I'm going to use one of these pink ones, and I'm going to put it right there. And I think that's it. It's our card. So we'll just let these glue dots or these white glue dry, and we're going to stick that down. But that is our card. Very simple, fun. I will stamp that I appreciate you in there, or another stamp, and we are good to go. I don't know if that will dry any quicker by fanning it, but let's see if we can get it. You could bring out your heat tool, of course, but it will go clear. I did want a good dot of it, so that's going to make it dry, take a little bit longer to dry, but then it will stick. So just to give you a quick why we're waiting, because you've got to suffer through this waiting period. This shimmer spray is alcohol, so rubbing alcohol, and a little bit of something that makes it sticky. So hairspray works if you can. You can't like, it's difficult to spray hairspray into that little hole. So I believe I used this just because it's a little bit sticky. It was a freebie thing that I got, and I used that kind of as my adhesive sort of thing for it. And then I rated my makeup, and I found some old loose shimmer powder that just, I think my daughter had it, and I threw it in there. And you want a fine powder. That's the key. So something fine. It will settle, and like I showed you, you have to give it a good solid shake. But I will make some more and share it through video. Like I say, I will put a link to that on this on these videos. So that will, it works so easy. I mean, you can buy this stuff, but it's so expensive. And I made this a year ago, and it's still going strong. I have lots of it. Like me saying I'm going to make more, I'm actually thinking, what am I going to do with it? I hope it lasts, which I can't see why it wouldn't last, especially if you don't open it up. So this is getting, can you see how that's clearing up there? It's getting, so it's clear, not white in the center. So it's the white that you're going to see when you put it down. And I did get a little on that when it closed, but that's fine as long as I let those dry, because I could have done it on that side too. And that will hold it down, and you're not going to see it. I would like this piece just to dry a little bit more so I can show you. That other dot is going to take too long, I think. But it even says on the bottle here, permanent or removable bond. For removable bond, moderately apply glue, allowing to completely dry. Position paper and remove and reposition as needed. So it is removable. So there, that's completely dry, but it's still tacky. Like it, I don't like why they say completely dry, because that's not really, it's still going to be tacky. And when I do things like my box cards, you've got to be careful, because, so you can see just a little bit left there. So I think I'm just going to let that dry a little bit more before we stick it down. But I will leave it like that. We'll show it to you tomorrow night how it worked out. But here, like you can't see that dot there. This dot, like I say, was a little bit too small. I put it right there. You can't even, I can barely see it. So it's a little too small, and that's why it keeps lifting, and why I wanted a little bit more there. All right. Thank you for joining me. And we will see you. Sorry if that light was in your way. Oh, that was bad. I'm sorry. Normally I move that. I apologize. But see you tomorrow night for the box card. We'll put the box card together. It's a little more intricate. Lots of little pieces. Like I say, I love that. Doing some extra things, but the box cards are the ones you guys like watching. So I look forward to you joining me for that. Take care.